Here we go. Doing it again. I want to refresh you, trying to encourage you to be a good man, full of faith, full of the Holy Spirit, which would lead us to being a people who do the things that Jesus said we would do. And so I want to read a few verses from Matthew chapter 6 and just kind of out of the things that Jesus said we would do, I think we miss two of them. We often hear in church, I say at church, you're probably under the mindset of that, we should read our Bible, we should worship. And I think those are true and good. But in Matthew chapter 6, Jesus kind of gives some instructions, and it starts with when you give to the needy. The phrasing when you is not if you, it is you will. And I'm letting you know when you will, you do it a certain way. When you give to the needy, don't sound a trumpet. Don't act like the hypocrites. Don't make a big show of it. Truly, I say to you, if you make a big reward of it, a big deal of it, that's your reward. People noticed. But when you give to the need, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And the bookends of what I want to talk about today is when you give, you're rewarded. Moving on, verse 5. And when you pray, don't pray like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray with big show and lots of words. Don't babble on and on, he says. No. When you pray, go into a room, into a closet, pray in secret. Here it is again. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you give, you'll be rewarded. When you pray, you'll be rewarded. Moving on. When you fast, verse 16, chapter 6, verse 16. Don't look gloomy like the hypocrites. Don't mess up your hair and make a show of it so that other people can see like, oh, how hard you have it. No. When you fast, anoint your head, wash your face, take a shower. That your fasting may not be seen by others, but your Father who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you fast, you'll be rewarded. So there's this interesting play here. Jesus is like, you're going to do this. Don't do it this way. It's kind of between you and God. He'll reward you. When you do this, don't make a big deal of it. God sees it. You'll be rewarded. When you do this, and the three things he says, this is the clearest we can have of Jesus' expectations of his followers, that you will give, pray, and fast. Give, pray, and fast. Now, we've talked about prayer, and my hope is that there's been a few steps forward in your prayer journey. One of the things that I've begun doing even during our week's meeting as men is I've just started to kind of like, what's the one target of the day? And so I've been, sketching out my week on Mondays. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm praying on Monday. Here's what I'm going to pray on Tuesday, just so that I have I pray more than that, but there's a trajectory. But today I want to lift like when you give, are you giving? Now, this says to the needy. I'm not even asking you to give to the bridge. I think it is an avenue in which you could feel good about in your giving. You're giving to the needy. With our Christmas store coming up, with the way we do shoes, the way we help alleviate poverty in different ways. And so there's that. I need you to be thinking like, am I answering the call that Jesus had? Like his thought was, you will. With that being said, when you fast. Now, I've been on a fasting journey for over 20 years. This has been, I would say this is one of the more secret sauces to my walk with God, to the life of the bridge, is I've just taken fasting really serious. When it says you will do this, I'm like, well, then I better do this. And so years ago, I did a series called The Raven and the Dove. That was maybe my most straightforward message series on fasting, and I found some things to be super helpful, and so I want to just kind of clue you in if you've never fasted before. Some things that you should maybe have in mind, keep in mind. Hmm, Maybe I won't even be able to find them. There they are. Um, One of the things that you're doing is fasting is enabling hunger to compel us to get closer to God. There's something powerful about when we fast, this hunger inside of us, the groaning leads us, drives us to get closer to God. Um, I think there's several reasons why we would want to fast. One is just to be obedient. Another reason um, is because uh, there's a there's a way where I think it moves our, I think it's Mark Batterson, he says it moves our prayers from a walking speed to a moving sidewalk speed. So I'm going to kick over to Pastor Derek just some helpful guidelines. Like um, there's different kinds of fast. There's like partial fast. That could be you're just going to um, give up a certain thing, maybe a dessert, maybe caffeine. That's a partial fast. There's a Daniel fast. That's giving up royal foods, things that royalty would eat. Mostly you're down to fruits and vegetables, mostly just vegetables. Um, there's a total fast. That's like you're just not eating food. You drink liquids, water fast. And then I think there's also like social media fast. There's a phone fast. So there's these different aspects that you could be invited into. Number. So that's what a fast is. Time frames. I'm a big fan of a 24-hour fast. If you've never done it before, you eat dinner and then you don't eat again until the next dinner. That would be a 24-hour fast. A lot of people say like I fasted for a day. Um, that would be more like a 32-hour fast. That would be like I ate dinner, the next calendar day, no food, and then the next calendar day, I ate breakfast. That's more like a 32-hour. There's 3 days, like you can, um, with media fasts and things like that, I would say like turn your phone off. Don't be like, I'm not on it. I don't know. So there's some thoughts on that. If you got medication or things like that, make sure you're wise with that. The other thing I want to kind of just tip my hat to is because the homework is do a fast, do a fast, uh, and you should know why you were fasting. Like, what's the heartbeat? Is it because you want to get closer to God? Is it because you realize you're far from God? Is it because you need healing? Is it because you're longing for healing for someone else? Is it because I'm not going to eat? This is called the widow's fast. I'm not going to eat the money I would use to eat with. I'm going to give away. Um, there's there's the fast to break bondage. There's the fast for wisdom. There's the fast for protection. There's the fast for divine intervention. I would get really clear why you fast, and so then you can expect if it's a food fast, your breath to smell, your headaches to be real, your stomach to be yelling at you, for you to get hungry, for you to be irritable, and so yeah. But why? Why? Because I want to feed my spirit and I want to starve my flesh. That was kind of the main heartbeat of the Raven and the Dove series. So uh, let me just kind of recap for you. Uh, you're on a journey. And in this journey, Jesus invites you to participate with him in the secret things so that he can reward you. And part of the secret things are, what are you doing with your money? Are you talking to him? And are you denying your flesh? I want to be able to do hard things when I don't want to. If there is pressure coming, have I trained myself to do something hard? Have I trained myself the ability to say no So fasting here, there's a mental thing to it too. I'm practicing the ability to increase my self-control, increase my ability to stand firm, increase my my spirit's capacity to endure. Um, you don't accidentally grow in faith. There is this consistent walk with God that strengthens you, just like a gym would strengthen your muscles. Fasting, prayer, and giving strengthens your faith. So I'm believing you're on this journey where you're going to become a good man, full of faith. And full of faith requires you to do the things that Jesus said you will do. And he's going to reward you. Hope this is good.